And welcome back to another episode of the Ministry of Truth. I am your only host on this show, and it is Friday. Finally Friday, 2 days away from the Super Bowl. Can't wait. Can't wait. So, it's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. Ain't got a job. I wonder what happens if I don't use profanity for the next 2 minutes. You think I could... Oh, it's already been 2 minutes. For the next 2 minutes after this. You think I could get it? And why is that light there? Because my cat's in the window. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope you're ready for some news. Obviously, you know I'm going to start off with humor. I gotta start off with humor because, well, that's what makes the world go round. Can't be serious all the time. Why so serious? Or know how I got this smile? What smile? Just kidding, I don't smile. Anyway, got a little bit going on today. We're going to go through some parody video. Well, actually, one of them's not a parody. The other one is. We're going to go through some Black History Month and Sandy Hook. Maybe some Sandy Hook. Not necessarily Sandy Hook, but, people that want to be Sandy Hook, except for the two girls. And that's besides the point. Baltimore City Schools, they're teaching the teachers gender identity. Rumsky! How are you, ma'am? And then we're going to have ice drills in college classes, which is kind of messed up. And then we're going to watch a little bit of Patriot Act 2.0, Palantir, which you guys know I've been talking about for well over a year, some change. And then, obviously, we're going to have to do some Alex Jones. Why not Alex Jones? But before we get started, obviously, I got to play a little music. So, with this being said, make sure you get something to drink, something to eat. We're all adults here. I don't have to tell you what to get. It's Friday. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, so you can do that. But until then, I'm going to leave you with this. I'm doing amazing, Rumsky. Amazing. I hope you have a good day, an amazing weekend. But let's start with the video. You guys remember, I believe this was in the first Black History. On Friday, get energetic. When I first heard this song during the Fast and Furious movies, I honestly thought it was Marilyn Manson for the longest time. And then I found out I was wrong. I was wrong. So very wrong. It's rare. I know. It happens. Relax. Okay? I'm not saying I'm perfect. Pretty close. But hello, Donovan. Thank you, Donovan. I notice more and more that I'm starting to look like him every day. Rob, are you my dad? If you are, can you hook me up with Sean? That bassist used to have in White Zombie? Yeah. Anyway, Let's continue with Humor. This song is actually a remake of a song she made 10 years prior, but then she became a super right-wing, I don't know what the fuck you call it, advocate from Australia. Not to mention she's super fucking fine. But you won't see it in this video because it's all animated. But if you want to look at what she looks like, Holly Valance is fine as fuck.
Mwah.
You will respect my pronouns. Not all ladies have ovaries, some have a penis.
They say that I'm a he, but I'm a she. Cause I gotta be another D. And I don't care what people say. I'll never be a him or them if cause I'm a real biological woman. A real biological woman. Cause you know I'm not a mere original.
Wait.
I was born this way, it's in my DNA.
Did you say Neil Diamond?
I'm a real biological
Woman.
My baby has no gender. I hope it's a bender. Don't choke when you woke. Joke.
My guilt is embedded in my genes. Got flags in my biotechnology. Slave song from the river to the sea. No job but a big LGBT.
Q plus, you bigot. Mwah.
Cause I'm a real diabolical lefty. A real diabolical lefty. Ideology, feeding hate in you. I'll intimidate, I'll indoctrinate. I'm a real diabolical lefty. A real diabolical lefty. Check your bias at the door, put it in. We identify as M's and Z. More rotations than a windy derby bee. Obese body positivity.
You're fat.
I'm cancel culture, virtue signaling vulture. You can only be my mate if you can menstruate. I'm so far left that you look far right. If you're pale, stale, and male, get out of my sight. Got two dads in every TV ad. No one wants a hetero cause of contraband. Welcome to country, it's not your land. It's your wife's boyfriend.
Wait, did she say stolen land? I'm glad she said that. That kind of leads us into the next music video. But actually, that's the last humor video. Hey, Dell wants me to see if I'm eligible for a trade-in. Do it? No.
The chain. While nonsense is going down the drain. Doing hard times, hate speech. You can shovel your opinions and beliefs. Cause I'm a real pathological snowflake. A real pathological snowflake. Trying to run the rock, but we don't multiply. So stand aside, cause we're the DEI. I'm a real pathological snowflake.
Trigger alert. Trigger alert. Trigger alert.
Don't ask me how I found this song, but I found because it came out like 10 days ago. I don't know how I found it. I think I was searching her up for some reason because I know she was in the show Prison Break. And then I came across this.
Mwah. Woman.
See? I just think of random shit and then I, go to search and then I find things like this. And I love it. 100% love it. Come on. Go to the next video, you stupid fuck. Alright. I want you to remember, no one is illegal on stolen land. Remember that. Good thing we're not stolen. You misunderstood. It's not stolen. It was conquered. And guess what? Every civilization in this entire world could technically be on stolen land.
Girl, high and mighty stuff. Girl, gate and mansion rough. Girl, borders just a bluff. Girl, I'm that rules for the type, not for me, the free type.
Thank you. And remember, no one is illegal on stolen land!
Are you giving your piece of the land back to us? You did say it was stolen.
Thank you, everyone. A special thank you and invitation to all my illegal alien fansing. ICE! You can stay with me in my gated mansion.
Like, no one's illegal on stolen land, so we should just defense the whole country. Except my mansion, but everything else is free.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
damn it. Thank you, Rumsky. What do I think of Bad Bunny, or have you heard of him until halftime Super Bowl? I've known about Bad Bunny for a while. I've had a lot of Puerto Rican soldiers, especially female Puerto Rican soldiers, and obviously that's how I heard of Bad Bunny. And then Bad Bunny ended up doing a WrestleMania match, so then I knew Bad Bunny from there. And after that, you know, I really have no honest opinion on Bad Bunny. I don't listen to him, but at the same time, I don't watch the Super Bowl for the halftime. I watch it for the game and the commercials. This happens this year. I'm watching it for the game. You know why? Go Pats. Yep. Oh, is the sound back then? I hope it's back. It is. Let's continue with the video.
That no one is illegal on stolen land.
What I will say, the Hall of Fame is bullshit, and the MVP race that happened this year is bullshit. How does Josh Allen get 2 votes and then fucking Justin Herbert get 1? 3 wasted votes when it was 24-23 in the final tally from Stafford and May. Bullshit. But anyway, they can win all the awards they want as long as they don't win on Sunday. I'm talking about anybody but the Patriots. Patriots win on Sunday, pretty happy. Patriots lose on Sunday, bro. Look where we came from, 4 games. Winning 4 games. Anyway.
She never knows when to shut her mouth.
I love AI.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
Oh my god. She's so brave. That's so brave.
By the way, I don't know why I'm this energetic on a Friday, but I haven't smoked any weed, and I've only had 1 cup of coffee and half of this. It's about normal for me.
Oh, Phineas. Phineas?
Yes, dear.
Oh, Phineas. You know what I realized? That since no one is illegal on stolen land, that means there's no rules. There's no laws.
Really?
Oh, yes, my sweet dear. We can finally get married.
Oh, Phineas. And we can have that Nepo baby we always wanted.
We should totally deport all these illegals, you guys. And I just want to thank President Trump and his whole team at the White House. You guys totally rock. I think you should just stay. I mean, we don't even need elections anymore. Just stay in the White House forever and just keep making America great again. You know, Democrats, they're all anyway. Especially Chucky Schumer and Crazy Nancy.
Nothing is illegal if it's on stolen land.
Are you gonna give the land back?
I didn't mean it like that.
We smoke this peace pipe to honor our land. As an elder of my tribe for many moons, my words speak across the land. Billie Eilish is not a colonizer. No one is illegal on stolen land.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
According to a local tribe out in California, she built her mansion on property that belongs to Native Americans.
Oh, yeah, Rumpy.
Oh, okay.
Hello? Can I help you?
Heard you have stolen land. You want to give it back?
Oh, that was just for TV.
Well, f you then, poser.
Why should dress so fancy, man? I'm talking loud with big girl plans while holding all the stolen land. Got acreage and parts. I'm saying things I don't quite get. I haven't even paid my debt. The funniest one you've ever met, with gates around my yard. So I'm a dumb girl, high and mighty stuff girl, gated mansion rough girl, borders just a bluff
right, enough of that. Enough of that. Let's get into the first story. What is our... Actually, I'm wrong. We're not getting to the first story. We're going to get a quick lesson from... Who is this guy? Andre Williams. We're going to learn a little bit about Black History Month.
Fuck Black History Month.
Oh!
There's nothing of value that comes from Black History.
Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not how I expected the video to start. Did I hear it right?
Fuck Black History Month. There's nothing of value that comes from Black History Month. Most of you niggas don't even know your history. Most of you niggas don't even know your father is. Black History Month is a month about shaming white people and making black people feel like fucking victims. That's it. All it does is reinforce the black victim mentality among black people. Nothing positive comes from Black History Month. It's a month of grandstanding and virtue signaling from white liberals and dumb blacks. That's it. When you look at the academic performance of most black children coming out of black schools, they learn nothing as is. But the one thing that they're taught extensively is that they are a victim, everything bad happened to them, nobody likes black people, and that's it. There's no motivation, there's nothing inspirational. It's a bunch of miserable fucking garbage that gives black people the excuse to cry, bitch, and moan, and beg for white people's attention. Do you remember when we got our ass beat 100 years ago? Nigga, who cares? Who the fuck wants to live that existence of constantly being reminded how you're at the bottom? There are 3 reasons for why Black History Month exists. 1, it's to humiliate white people. It's to make white people feel bad about their accomplishments, about their identity, about who they are. That's all it's for. It's not about inspiring or motivating anyone. It's about humiliation. White people are told that they are the bad guys, that they're the evil people that have done so many evil things to everyone around the world.
He is
all it does
a very, very much a skinhead. He hasn't shaved his head for a while because he was actually out doing a story, but he should fix his head later on this week. Yep.
Doesn't make white men and white women have low self-esteem. White men get low self-esteem and white women get this incredibly ass white guilt. And all that does is build white suicidal empathy. The second is it makes black people feel like they're less valuable. All you do is walk with a chip on your shoulder. I'm owed this, I'm entitled to that, we built this, we did that, and nigga, you go back to your fucking Section 8 housing in your crime-ridden community with your liquor stores on every corner and, you know, your fucking, I don't know, they got weed shops now here up in the north, so, you know, you really don't have anything at all. It's a month to keep black people in this bubble, this mindset that everything has been against you, everything and everyone hates you, and you can do nothing because you're black, and you should always remind yourself that you cannot go anywhere because you're black. That's a miserable fucking existence for black people. It's a fucking shameful existence. All this struggle, all this heartache, you would think that they would push the more positive stories, the more positive tales. And they do in some cases. But in the majority of cases, it's crying about slavery, crying about Jim Crow. Oh, the KKK came and lynched your grandfather. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. Do something productive rather than crying about the past events that you have no connection to and can do nothing about. The final is very sinister. It's extremely evil. It's keeping blacks and whites at each other's necks, hating each other. If you teach black people that white people are the enemy and have done all these horrible things, and you tell white people they have no pride, have no purpose, have no identity and respect for themselves, then guess what? These people can never be empowered and go forward. We live in the most powerful country in the world. We live in the most advanced nation in the entire world, economically, socially, politically.
Every metric, we are still the most powerful country in the world. And how do I know that? Well, the UN is a $1.5 billion deficit because of people not paying their fair share. So why do we support the UN? The way I see it, we don't need the UN. The UN, on the other hand, needs us for financial and military backing. Fuck the UN.
Politically. And we have a people that have been told that they should hate each other, that they should continuously remind each other that they are enemies. Black History Month is for the political elite, black and white, to profit off of black pain and to make whites weaker. That's it. To make people more consumers, to make people more docile, and never have them actually taking power into their own hands and carrying themselves forward properly, carrying themselves in a respectable manner. Black History Month is about suppression of everybody, not just black people, not just white people, but Americans as a whole. We should abolish Black History Month. Get
Well,
rid of
that's
it
what
and
Trump
establish a
tried to do.
month where we as Americans champion our excellence, our unity, not our diversity, which is a cancer, but our collective unity in the common purpose and the common ideals, in the common focus that we have in securing this nation and progressing it as far as we can. That's what matters at the end of the day. Maintaining the civilizational state, these United States, that's what matters. Not this crying about fucking somebody got their ass whooped in Selma. And look what you niggas are doing today. You're tearing up Walmart all in the name of doing what?
Well, if they can't tear down a bridge or walk across the bridge, it might
Developing right now at 5.
That's how you do it these days. That's how you get everybody on your side. You loot. You burn shit down. You hurt people. That's how you get people on your side. I got it. I got it. Maybe that's why I made such a great soldier. Wait a minute, I'm the one that was hurting people. But at the same time, I was the one saving them. I was like a double-sided sword. It's kind of weird. You know what else is weird? Thinking that you're going to create another Sandy Hook. I mean, granted, y'all know my thoughts on Sandy Hook. And unlike Alex Jones, I don't have $1 billion. But false flags happen for a reason. Why did they tear down the schools so quickly after the shooting? What about the guys that were in the woods in black clothing? Oh.
These 2 Seminole County girls will stay locked up in jail after police say they almost carried out their plan to kill their classmate. The close call was foiled by a tip last month at Lake Brantley High School. Right now, Channel 9's Nick Papantonis is live at the Seminole County Jail. And Nick, we not only know why investigators say they plan to do this, we also know what was in a note the so-called mastermind wrote. This is some scary stuff here.
And it's all part of why these girls will remain behind bars for a little while now. Is an apology note to the girls' parents that she told investigators she was in the middle of writing when the security guard pulled her out of class last month. The report says she would have finished that class writing a manifesto about the murder before slitting her classmate's throat.
Oh.
I know there's been something wrong with me since I was a little kid. I deserve what's coming for me, as I am disgusting, cruel, and useless. Police say Isabel Valdez, who also went by the name Jimmy, wrote this note seconds before she realized she would not be able to murder her Lake Brantley High School classmate last month. They say Valdez recruited Lois Lippert to help her kill the other student because she believed he resembled Adam Lanza, the Sandy Hook school shooter, who she obsessed.
Wait a minute. Isn't that the kid from Parkland that's running around trying to become a huge Democrat? Huh? Where's Yeti at?
Obsessed over. For months, investigators say Valdez stalked the other student and took pictures of him while contemplating her plan. A report saying she planned to push the boy into a bathroom during second period, slit his throat, and drink his blood.
There you go, Yeti.
All with the goal of bringing Lanza back to life. They say she brought a knife, trash bags, and gloves to the school, and she and Lippert, who brought flowers, tried to sharpen the knife by running it against a pipe in the bathroom. Valdez's attorney didn't have much to say during her bond hearing Wednesday, or after a judge decided both girls should stay behind bars. My name is Nick. I'm a reporter with WFTV Channel 9. We left a message for Lippert's father, but haven't heard back. Valdez is 15, Lippert is 14. Prosecutors upgraded the charges to adult for both girls, telling us that they felt that the more aggressive tact and having more sentencing options and longer-term sentencing options.
14 and 15 being charged as an adult. Time to fuck around and find out, right? When I was in school, I never thought about committing a mass shooting or a mass stabbing or slitting throats. But I did fight. Because there's nothing wrong with fighting. Well, I mean, society might tell you something different. But normally after you fight somebody, you either don't fuck with each other or become bros. Now we're going to head into TikTok trends, guys. This TikTok trend is fucking retarded, and anybody that tries this, unfortunately, it's going to be kids, so I can't say it's a Darwin Award. But, bro, what the fuck are you letting your kids do?
Yeah, it's pretty scary, Dina and Patrick.
None of it
you think about it.
I was pyro like a motherfucker. Me and my cousins, we actually called us the Magic Club, but all we did was go around and light shit on fire.
Loyola says it's seen several injuries now because of this TikTok trend, using a toy in the way it's not supposed to be. It is the Nido Ice Cube and Iceberg. They are gel-filled, as you said, sensory toys that are meant to be squeezed, not heated. The trend online, though, is to use a microwave to heat it up and make it more pliable. And that's exactly what 9-year-old Caleb did just 2 weeks ago. After he microwaved that Nido, it burst in his face and caused some severe burns.
Looks like we're
His
all
mom
Pyres
brought
as a
him
kid.
to the hospital near
Holy
their home in
shit.
Plainfield. They transferred him then here to Loyola's burn center. Doctors say he was very fortunate in this case.
He
Even though his
definitely was.
face was swollen at the time, 2 weeks ago, he had no permanent damage to his eye, and his skin is now healing up.
Some of the early pictures were definitely scary. We were worried about his eye, of course.
I'm just gonna say, by looking at this mom, she lets him do whatever the fuck he wants. No discipline. And maybe he'll learn something.
She was cleared by ophthalmology, which is great. And I think the one thing he's got on his side is being so young. It's quickly healing, and I can tell that he's feeling better because he's just anxious to get back to school, anxious to see his friends, and I think that's what I'm most happy about.
Whether it's these toys that clearly have a label that say don't heat them, but kids aren't going to read labels, or it's ramen noodles coming out of the microwave that kids spill on themselves, little kids who are pulling.
That was, what grade was I in? 3rd or 4th, maybe 5th grade. And my sister had just heat up on the microwave a bowl of ramen. And you know, it fits in the microwave. It's got to heat up for like shit, a considerable amount of time. And I don't remember what we were doing, but she came around the corner with this thing and it fucking poured all over, like right here. And like, oh my God, my skin was fucking peeling. I didn't know what to do. I didn't tell my parents because I was fucking scared. And that shit hurt so bad for like weeks. But lucky me, I never got an infection because I don't know. I've been always pretty good at being able to handle injuries. Yeah, Rumsky, like I said, that shit was painful as fuck. Like I didn't even know what to do. But I was a tough kid.
Hot coffee off counters. These are injuries that we see every year at the burn center. 30% of our patients are pediatric patients, and so I think it's the
longest time I had
everyday common things in the home that are burning these kids, and we want to make sure that parents are aware that they should be diligent about what's in their house.
It's important to note that Caleb did not see this
That's
trend
the difference,
online.
I guess, between today's generation and ours. Like I was afraid to tell my parents if I got hurt or if I got in trouble. Because I know my dad would beat the fuck out of me.
Himself, he heard about it through friends who saw it online. The company that manufactures the Ice Cube and Iceberg says it alerted the Consumer Product Safety Commission about the injuries it has heard about so far. The commission itself has not issued any recall, but as always, follow
Why
the
would you
instructions
issue a
and heed
recall
any
when
warning.
it's stupidity on kids' side? Oh! That sucks.
Baltimore City Schools hired outside consultants to train teachers on how to instruct students about gender identity, including payments to a consultant who has said children can identify as transgender as young as 3.
See,
Patrick Huff from our Spotlight.
how do they know they're transgender if they're 3 fucking years old? If it wasn't for the parents. My kids, when they were 3, you know what they were thinking about? Definitely not that. They were worried about, toys, candy, bothering me. Normal shit kids are supposed to do. They didn't come to me, hey dad. Oh wait, that's not how he would sound. Hey dad, I think I'm a girl. And I'd be like, all right, faggot, you think you're a girl? Oh, that's probably not the way to tell your kids that they're not a girl. But guess what? He never said that.
A Maryland team looked
And
at
if you
how
had
those
said that, I
decisions
probably
were
would have said
made
it.
and how
Faggot.
sex education is shaped behind the scenes.
It's preying on children.
Oh.
Spotlight on Maryland reviewed hundreds of documents obtained through a public information request. The records show Baltimore City selected 2 outside organizations, Advocates for Youth and Healthy Teen Network, to lead sex education trainings for teachers between 2021 and 2024. Both organizations publicly support expanding access to puberty blockers and hormone treatments for minors who want to transition genders. And for years, city schools chose them to train its staff. One of the main consultants was Nora Gelperin, Director of Sexual Education and Training at Advocates for Youth, and a contributor to the Maryland 3Rs curriculum. The curriculum includes lessons plans that introduce topics such as genitalia and gender identity as early as kindergarten. Email shows city schools paid Gelperin $3,300 in October 2024 to train teachers on how to implement that curriculum. City schools board documents show the district highly encouraged teachers to use the 3Rs curriculum in all grades as far back as 2021. And a Spotlight on Maryland review of the district's curricula showed the district used the 3Rs curriculum through at least 2024.
It's funny because they're having people that graduate that don't even know how to read in Baltimore. They probably don't even know how to do 2 times 2. They'll probably tell you 4. Their scores are just that fucking shitty. That no student left behind bullshit.
Gelperin said in a 2022 Facebook interview that children can identify as transgender as young as 3.
So kids that are transgender at the ages of 3, 4, and 5 are able to say they feel like their body is wrong. They feel like something is different with them. How they identify on the inside isn't matching up with what they see on the outside.
Yo, I was thinking about this when I was a kid. I don't know what age I was. But you know how Mary Poppins was a movie when we were kids, right? Maybe before we were kids. But I would take an umbrella. God, I was such a stupid kid. And I would get on the railing for the deck. And I would try to like parachute down with the umbrella. That shit never worked, but I kept trying.
And that's why you'll see some kids start to socially transition in kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade.
In January 2023, city schools asked Gelperin to present to the Maryland Family Life Advisory Committee, a group that provides community feedback on sex education proposals statewide. In an email, a city school's employee said the presentation would focus on...
Actually, every time I see anything remotely close to that, I have to sing that. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
Engaging and educating parents and other stakeholders on the importance of our sensitive and sometimes controversial topics in sex ed. Gelperin responded, I assume gender identity is high on the list.
We didn't have stupid TikTok trends. We were just stupid.
The worry about exposure to sexuality information too soon being harmful? The city school's employee responded, yes, those topics would be great to focus on. Advocates for Youth also produces a series of animated sex education videos. Some are used in the state-approved 3Rs curriculum, funded by the Maryland State Department of Education. This video was assigned as homework for Maryland 4th graders.
It is also common at this age to feel confused about your thoughts and feelings regarding who you find attractive. In fact, you may find yourself thinking about people of the same sex
in the 4th grade,
and of the opposite sex, and be unsure.
Advocates for Youth argues that schools are responsible for ensuring LGBT youth feel recognized. Inclusive programs are those that help youth understand gender identity and sexual orientation with age-appropriate and medically...
You know, imagine this. In a world where you think you need to teach gender identity in schools. LGBT in schools. Inclusive, right? I wonder if they teach about, you know, actual making babies and the process and why you shouldn't do that. Or STDs, you know, like monkeypox. Oh, whoa.
Accurate information. Incorporate positive examples of LGBTQ individuals, romantic relationships, and families. Emphasize the need for protection during sex for people of all identities and dispel common myths and stereotypes about behavior and identity.
How could I teach something that I don't believe and I don't want to promote in my own home?
Blanca Tapiasco is a mother and former Baltimore City teacher. She left the district in 2020 and pulled her youngest child from city schools, citing concerns about what she describes as gender ideology.
She's a teacher. She can homeschool them.
In the hallway one day, a boy and a girl are together and they're chatting. The girl turns to the boy and says, "Boys can't wear dresses." And
True.
The same lead teacher turned and said, "Yes, they can." Personal agendas do not belong in a professional environment.
You're right. You know who wears dresses that are men? Fucking Arabs in their man dresses. Fucking hate seeing those people.
Documents show Healthy Teen Network also led
Whoa,
professional training.
whoa. That is fucking stupid. Huh.
For city schools health teachers from 2022 through 2024, including training specifically on the 3Rs curriculum. All of this as city schools continues to struggle academically with
See,
the
look at
worst
that.
test scores and highest rate of
0% in math. 58% in truancy. And they're graduating these kids?
chronic absenteeism in Maryland. Jonathan Alexandre with the Maryland Family Institute says the district has lost focus.
Honestly, I'm not a big fan of truancies. Maybe if they're failing, but if my kids who are absent, whenever the fuck I feel like, or they feel like it, they make A's and B's. They know what they're doing. And it always shows on their report cards and progress reports. And they have to send me a note saying they want to send me to jail.
Like this lets us understand that we're such a far cry from the reading, writing, and the arithmetic, the basic building stones of a good institution and a basic school education.
A spokeswoman for city schools emphasized that Advocates for Youth and Healthy Teen Network trains its teachers, not its students. The spokeswoman also emphasized that the payments for these teacher trainings...
But if you teach the teachers, they're obviously going to filter it down. That's how that shit works. You teach something to someone, and then they teach somebody else. And then they teach somebody else. And then they teach somebody else. That's how it fucking works.
Anti-ICE activism and an ICE drill in a college class, the shocking events that happen inside a classroom that has one student questioning who really needs to learn a lesson about education and reality.
So what's being taught in college, too.
We are calling our guest today, Angela.
Hello,
Thank you
Angela.
for joining me, Angela. Appreciate you speaking out.
Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Now, just for a bit of background, you are a student at the University of Minnesota. You are taking a class called Culture, Power, and Education. It is a required class to graduate from the U of M with a degree in elementary education. So let's start there. The cover of your class page, I think, seems troubling enough. What can you tell us, though, about what seems like overt references to white supremacy right there on the class page?
Yeah, so upon first glance, the class page is definitely shocking and definitely was not a very good first impression.
Wow.
And it made me very skeptical of the class, but I continued knowing that it was required to graduate. And as the class began...
Overt white supremacy, socially unacceptable. Lynching, no shit. Hate crimes, could go either way. Blackface, guilty. The N-word, nuclear? Swastikas, neo-Nazis, burning crosses, you mean lowercase t's. Racist jokes, I got tons of them. Racial slurs, I've got tons of those. The KKK, I got nothing. My grandfather was supposedly like one of the leaders in Ohio, but that was well before I was born. He was dead. Anyway.
it reinforced what the imagery on the class page represented. And for example, like a big lesson that she most recently engaged in was that white people push for action and ideologies that allow for current time to be the same as it was back during the 60s. So essentially saying that 2026 is the same as the 1960s in terms of segregation and racism. So it is definitely.
Here's the thing with racism and sexism, or I said sexism, right? I talked about this yesterday. Holy fuck, I forgot what I was going to say.
The 1960s in terms of segregation and racism.
Yeah. So they're talking about, you know, segregation in the 60s and how it was bad. But now it's acceptable. How is that even possible?
So it is definitely very hard to be a white student within this classroom.
Well, if that's not bad enough, your professor did something
Well, here's what I
quite
don't understand,
shocking.
like me being an islander and all that stuff. Sorry. And I never really migrated to any certain group of people or race. I just talked to whoever the fuck I wanted to talk to. And sometimes it made me look racist, but if I don't like you, there's a reason, right? Yeah, that cursive thing kind of sucks. Yeah. You know, I've never thought about the kids not learning the clocks because I taught my kids how to read a clock. But cursive was a little different. I kind of thought they would teach that in school.
Recently, as you kicked off your spring semester, your Professor Caldas is her name. She conducted.
You know, it's funny, when I was in high school, we had to take an exit exam. So you took it at the end of your junior year, and if you failed it, you took it your senior year. But you had to pass the exit exam to graduate high school. Not to mention you had to have the grades and the credits. But if you had all the requirements to graduate, but you failed the exit exam, see you again next year. You can graduate with the next class.
What she called an ice drill during your class. I think sounds unbelievable, but walk us through what happened.
Yeah, so during the first class of the semester for this particular course, my professor had us perform what she called an ice drill, where she began by putting up an image on the screen of the specific steps that we are supposed to take in the event that ice were to appear at our classroom door. She then had us stand up and move to the farthest corner away from the door, and she began by acting out her own role during this specific scenario, which is to talk to the ICE agents and attempt to gain more information. When she was done acting out her own role, she came back to us in the back corner and told us that if ICE were to appear at our door and enter into our classroom, that we are to use our own bodies to cover up and shield specific individuals within our classroom that are that appear to be targets. And then finally, she ended the drill.
Yeah, because they want that no student left behind thing. I really think it's dumb. They need to bring it back.
By having us look around our peers and our fellow students within the classroom and identify specifically the people that would appear to be the targets and that we would need to cover up and shield with our bodies.
Yo, if I graduated my sophomore year, I would have been 15. I would have been a 15-year-old high school graduate. And, you know, me being an islander or part Asian, that probably would have been normal.
To use your bodies in this situation, what's going through your mind when you're hearing her walk through this lesson?
Yeah, I immediately knew that it was very wrong, and essentially because she was saying that because I am white, because I am a white student, that I essentially need to act as a human shield.
You hear this
and
shit?
Interfere with.
So there's what the lady says, part of the drill is if you're white, you need to shield the minorities when ICE comes in. Does that sound right? Does it sound like something they should be teaching in college? Operation Protect the Darkie? It's a good question. Would I have to protect myself because half of me is white and I protect the other Islander half? Is that how this works? I can do that. It's gonna look a little weird if I jump on myself to protect myself, but I can do it.
Student that I essentially need to act as a human shield and interfere with federal agents. And as a future educator, I would never instruct my own students to put their own safety on the line.
I know you are only speaking for yourself here, but how did other students react to this ICE drill? Were they going along with all of this?
Yeah, many students are typically very engaged in conversation and feed into her lectures, while others are noticeably uncomfortable and don't really speak out much. But for this specific event, the class was very quiet and essentially went along with what she was telling us to do. So similar to me, many others were very noticeably uncomfortable.
So after hearing about your professor conducting this,
Good mom. It's actually a good mom.
this ICE drill, your parents filed a formal complaint with the U of M. Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct. We reached out to the dean's office, to which we actually received an answer very quickly from them, stating that they were able to speak with my professor, to which she actually denied ever encouraging ICE interference within our classroom.
No shit.
And we were also informed within this email that this would later be addressed in the next class meeting, but unfortunately, this was never addressed and the matter continues to go unresolved.
And I should say that we have also reached out to the University of Minnesota for comment on this situation. But given the circumstances, why did you want to speak out about this?
Yeah, so I originally did not want to be anonymous, as I personally have no shame in my views and beliefs. However, I ultimately decided that it was the best option, not only for the safety of myself, but for the safety of my friends and family, and it should not have to be.
I mean, I've pushed my kids to do dual enrollment classes. And it's been working out for the two girls. My son starts next year, but he's a little bit behind because he started his senior year. But hey, already getting a jump in education, and they get to stay in high school for it.
That way.
My daughter graduated as a medical assistant.
And I know that there are a lot of other
Training
students
certificate.
all across campus that have the same views as me and understand that actions like this within the classroom are absolutely not okay. And so I hope that by voicing my own experience, this will help others be more comfortable voicing their own views, and whether that's conservative or not, in the same way that others are that we see on campus. And I also want to advocate for change within classrooms, as such hateful and negative opinions and actions such as these ICE drills should not be voiced or carried out in learning environments. The classroom is absolutely no place for it, and policies need to be enforced to allow students to properly learn.
Oh, considering I haven't heard of ICE going into any classrooms. Have y'all heard any ICE going into classrooms? Maybe attempting to get schools, but that wasn't ICE. That was the FBI and the Secret Service. You know, it's videos like this makes me glad I don't have to work with people anymore, because you never know. And on top of that, I've never brought my own food to work, and if I did, it was not in a community area where you can find it. And these are reasons why.
Tonight, we're learning new details about the accusations against Christopher M. Carroll, the Baltimore County paramedic who faces charges of filming himself committing a sexual act on the food and property of co-workers. Fox 45's Keith Daniels joins us live with a closer look at the disturbing allegations. Keith.
Waukee Baltimore County Police arrested Carroll this week. A judge denied him bail today, and tonight he's behind bars. And also at this hour, a closer look at the accused and the allegations.
A Baltimore
He did it.
paramedic, Christopher M. Carroll, facing what some are calling disturbing, shocking charges. The 36-year-old man accused of making videos of himself masturbating and urinating on his colleagues' property and food, posting it on social media. lewd acts, prosecutors say, that happened at his workplace, including at Baltimore County Fire Station number 2 in Pikesville. Fox 45 News obtaining the criminal investigation papers that detail how Carroll allegedly committed the acts, revealed after a roughly 2-month-long investigation. One particular incident of note at Fire Station number 2 in November, where prosecutors say Carroll, wearing his uniform and exposing his genitals, walked toward a large ice maker. The Post captioned, "They always say, don't drink the yellow snow." Defense attorney Jeremy Eldridge.
I think a lot of people are
Murder
looking
him.
for reasons why people would engage in this criminal behavior.
Is not associated with this case, but weighs in on the charges, which are misdemeanors.
These charges are misdemeanors,
that's it?
but they're incredibly serious when you consider the number of victims, the fact that victims supposedly were fed bodily fluids, including urine and semen, and the fact
Bioterrorism.
that this was done in a place where firefighters have to trust one another and reside and live together. And there's this broken trust that is going to be the undercurrent of this prosecution.
According to investigators, a Baltimore County Fire Department supervisor was made aware of Carroll's X account with the profile name of Tatted vs. Daddy, where police say Carroll posted images
And he's a
and
fruitcake.
videos, some of them, they say, filmed within the Baltimore County Fire Department facilities and the Baltimore County Public Safety Building. Investigators say this, quote, large, unique tattoo covering his chest helped them identify Carroll.
The best thing about the prosecution thus far is that it wasn't rushed into. It seems as though the Baltimore County authorities took their time. It wasn't just a matter of identifying the individual, but also trying to get other key pieces of evidence so that it wasn't a purely circumstantial case.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Carroll is on record about the
Yeah. Absolute. Whoa. What's it doing? Yes. You could pee on him and it's only a misdemeanor. Probably a fine.
allegations. According to our partners at the Baltimore Sun, he described the pornographic video as, quote, parody and satire, and said that the food and any other items used in the videos rather, were his own. We're live tonight. Keith Davis.
Now, if it is your own, did you eat it? Did you eat your own food? I don't think so. I don't think it was your own food. Now, yes, Chicago City is, hurting for money. That they're firing janitors. One janitor that's been there for 20 years. I want you to notice something about this janitor who's been in the United States working as a custodian in the Capitol building of Chicago for 20 years. Listen to his speak. That's not him.
And tonight, NBC5 News has learned layoff notices are being sent to Chicago City Hall janitors. 9 of the 21 custodians were told they're out of a job starting next week.
Now, the mayor's office blaming the new budget that aldermen approved, but the mayor did not support. Today, one of those janitors laid off, who's worked at City Hall for 20 years.
20 years.
Spoke with our political reporter, Marianne Ager.
Listen to him talk.
Marianne.
Good evening. All of the janitors work for a third-party contractor. Not only is the worker we spoke to out of a job, he says he will not receive any vacation or severance pay. Juan Ramirez, who's worked at City Hall as a janitor for 20 years, received
So glad he
this
speaks
letter
English.
telling him as of February 13th, he's out of a job.
They told them last Monday, and yeah, he was really surprised about this.
Ramirez works for A&R Janitorial Service based in Cicero. They would not comment
Cicero.
today. The company, however, tells him, quote, your health and welfare benefits will also cease on this day.
he's worried about the mortgage and the insurance for his wife, and he don't know what he's gonna do right now.
Mayor Brandon Johnson, who refused to sign the city's budget, but also did not veto it, through a spokesman says, quote, "It is unfortunate whenever city vendors or contractors reduce their workforce. The vendors, contractors make their own decisions on layoffs, terminations, and severance packages. The city is not involved with those determinations."
These are the smallest of the small companies, and these are the lowest of the lowest paid. And for the mayor to pick on the smallest and the lowest paid workers is troubling.
Alderman Gilbert Villegas, one of the aldermen part of the alternative budget group, disagrees that the mayor does not play a role in who is laid off.
It's unfortunate that the mayor and his administration are picking on custodians.
Isn't the mayor supposed to be
and
the
then trying to
CEO?
pawn it off on the city council.
With laying off 9 janitors, what are Ramirez's concerns for those who remain on the job?
One person is gonna need to clean from the basement to the 11th floor.
Yo, you think that Chicago laid off specific janitors like this because of they don't want to get in trouble for hiring illegals? I'm just saying, this dude's been here for 20 years, working in City Hall, and I don't think he knows how to speak English. And it looks like he still has to use a translator.
Bathrooms and a few offices.
So, is this the only department connected to the city that is impacted? We asked the mayor's office, and his spokesman said, so far, that's all at this time. So it's the cleaning crew that has been hit first.
Maybe they should get rid of useless politicians up there. You ever think about that? You know, as I was watching these protesters, quotation marks, I hate when people do that, that are documenting people's faces, people's cars, people's address, when they dox them and all that shit. And they're basically doing a mass surveillance state. Oh, wait, those don't happen in the US. Nobody does that, not even the government, right? Right? But when you have Palantir, which I've been talking about for maybe a year or two, and they're agreeing with all of them collecting this data, Palantir's all for it. I wonder why, Palantir? I wonder why.
Palantir CEO Alex Karp says anti-ICE protesters should want more Palantir in the government. Let me read this to you, and this kind of goes to what we're talking about here with the bird tourism. So if we go to Palantir CEO Alex Karp said protesters demonstrating against the U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement should support the use of his company's tools in the government. If you are critical of ICE, you should be out there protesting for more Palantir. He told CNBC, our product actually, in its core, requires people to confirm with Fourth Amendment data protections. Karp comments come as an anti-protest continue in Minneapolis following the fatal shooting of 2 demonstrators. Documents released by the Department of Homeland Security last week also showed that the company is providing AI tools to the agency to help it sift through tips. Palantir's previously been criticized for its work with ICE and role in President Trump's crackdown on immigration. Federal documents from April revealed that the company had $30 million contract with the agency to provide real-time visibility on people self-deporting. So what do you think about the idea of Palantir being used for immigration as well as using a
apparently? Fuck you.
company like Palantir against China when they're trying to take advantage of bird tourism?
I don't think it's going to be used for those things explicitly at all, because I think we have the means to track a lot of these things right now with the things that are tracked. We found out the other day that Google just listens to everything that we say, at any moment.
$68 million lawsuit.
Yeah. So you're telling me you can't filter that in a way where it's tracking these type of things? No. I think that's a great marketing pitch and something that Alex Karp would say. Of course, you could make anything about Palantir sound good. If there's a problem, Palantir could fix it because it could do anything. It could track any data that you have, and it could be used to alleviate this. But no, it's
would there be a day where you would say, you know what, if I have to choose between Palantir getting deeper or preventing what China's doing long term with this 1.5 million, bird tourists that they come here, they take them out to China, indoctrinate them, and then later on send them over here to go to school with the idea one day becoming a U.S. president 40, 50, 60 years from now. And now we have somebody that likes what China does, but they're now the president of U.S. Would that be worth the risk for you to use Palantir to filter some of these people out?
No, because I think we have the means to filter a lot of these people out right now. I think, the struggle is that half the government doesn't want to, half the government does. So I completely reject the notion that we don't have the technology to get rid of these people right now. I think this is just a Trojan horse saying like, oh, now we finally have this technology where we could use it to get them out.
You're saying you don't trust Alex Karp.
I don't trust Alex Karp. I don't trust half the CIA. I don't trust half of Congress. And I think that half of the government and the half of the Congress is the problem, not the technology that we have. I think we have more than enough technology, and we've given up more than enough rights and freedom with the NSA for them to track all of this stuff. So no, I don't think the
Congratulations.
It's the same.
You're about to get audited by IRS. But go ahead,
I know.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's the same argument with the border, right? For the 4 years of the Biden administration, it said, we can't close the border. We can't do that.
Creeps. Is he a practicing Jew, though? I don't think he's a practicing Jew.
And then Trump comes in and
boom,
close.
Overnight.
Yo, look at this.
It's not like
this guy looks like somebody you would not trust. If anybody looked like a Jew, it's probably this guy.
It's not. They're not lacking the way. They have the ways to do things.
Hair,
They're lacking the will.
That hair looks so fucking gross. Like it's super thin.
Mm-hmm. So you Trump's administration's okay with that 1.5 million coming through?
No, I don't. What I said was I hope. I don't have a whole lot of faith. I hope the intelligence communities have already not only figures it out, that they figured this out before they even arrived in 2020, early last year.
Holy fuck.
I hope that they had been aware of this over the long term and had been doing something about it. And we're just hearing about it now.
You remember the debate
I don't have a lot of faith in that.
with Hillary Clinton and President Trump were debating, and he says, here's a man who does everything he can to pay no taxes. And he only paid this much in taxes. Mm-hmm. And then the guy asked him, the moderator asked him, I do my best to pay as little taxes as possible. I use the same code that she wrote the last 30-something years. You've had the chance to change it. This is where I'm going with it. If a good accountant can help a billionaire like that, minimize the amount of tax exposure that the person has, these Chinese billionaires are like, we're not doing anything illegal. I'm having 100 kids, and they're doing it in the U.S., and by your law, I'm legally here. You know what I'm saying, Tom? And so for me, I don't know how you prevent that. But, Tom, go for it. Your thoughts on this.
Two things going on here. Number one, Alex Karp is being a defense contractor. And he's telling people, oh, my goodness, this issue, this thing over here, this is just like Boeing and General Dynamics and Northrop Grumman saying, have you...
I believe they just signed a contract for 160 aircrafts from Boeing. Let me double check. I believe it was Qatar. Don't let me lie to you. Let me double check because I think I read that yesterday. Boeing. Yep. Oh no, this is from last year. There's a newer one. Let me find it. Because I know I've
seen the new planes that the Chinese are flying in maneuvers over Taiwan. We need the F-88. This is it'll only be $1 billion per.
Mel Gibson, huh? I'm glad you said that. Overlay time. Come on. It's loading. There you go, Rumsky. There you go.
Airplane, but that's what we need if you want to compete with the Chinese. Pat, defense contractors do that every day. It's called defense contractor marketing, and they market based on application, fear, response, buy my product to do it. The second part that makes me very nervous is Alex Karp is playing the familiar card that got played on Americans for the Patriot Act. Throw enough fear on the table to get people to give up privacy in the name of safety. It is a playbook that the government's been running for a long time. You know, long ago, I worked for a telecommunications company.
Qatari Airways is buying 160 aircrafts from Boeing. It's a lot of money. $96 billion worth.
A big one. And we kind of changed the world with some stuff, right? Remember?
Of course.
There was a room there that they would bring subpoenas so that they could go in and look at phone records. And while they were in there, sometimes they were unattended. And I remember I said, man, can I ask a question? You just said sometimes they're unattended. How do you know they're only looking at stuff that they have the subpoena for?
Take any comment.
You're like, well,
I'm pretty sure you can type profanities too.
We don't really. And this was long before. This is when they would actually go and check records, actually go in. Now they don't have to do that. It's all in the cloud, and they can do it with backdoor access from Langley. So this is classic also, Alex saying, well, the Fourth Amendment says that, data use and privacy right there, Fourth Amendment. Our government and our CIA break the Fourth Amendment before lunch every day, right? Then they track us and the things they've got.
They're tracking your
phone.
So
this is Alex Karp on both sides of it. One, he sounds just like the Patriot Act, but on the other hand, he's a defense contractor telling you he's invented the magic thing that's going to solve this.
Are you glad he's on your side?
I'm glad he's on our side, but the longer term ramifications, it makes me kind of squirrely.
Do you think he's on your side?
I think he's on the side of Palantir's profitability, but I do think that he and Peter Thiel are on the side of the U.S. However, there are dark forces in government that want to do things that even they don't want, but once they sell their toy to the government's going to do it anyway.
Rob, can you pull up how many contracts does Palantir have with foreign governments?
Shit.
How many contracts does it have with other countries?
Palantir's fucking contracts, they seem like they're all intelligence. They're military, their country's intelligence.
With foreign,
it's not a lot.
But listen, one to me is one too many.
I've noticed that, Yeti, because I can type that sometimes, but in other people's chats I can't. When was this? I would love to know.
There's
I'm trying to see
one big
it.
round one in the east.
Public disclosed numbers from Palantir doesn't publish an itemized number of contracts. Many contracts are classified or confidential, especially military intelligence work. Some foreign deals are announced at high level. So known foreign government clients, UK is one. Palantir has multiple contracts with UK government, including a large ongoing defense analytics.
Look at this. Ministry of Defense in the UK. France's domestic intelligence agency. Domestic? Interesting. Netherlands, Germany. Palantir's used more than just the United States, and it's collecting a lot of data. And remember, Palantir is also AI, so it could be coming up with real world scenarios that they could run.
Contract with the Ministry of Defense and work with public services. France, they have a contract of renewal for France's Domestic Intelligence Service, DGSI, extending a multi-year partnership. Then it's Netherlands, police department, and several Dutch states have reportedly used Palantir software. Canada,
Palantir is Patriot Act 2.0. It's not a police state, surveillance state for the entire world. And we gave them a ton of money, and they're building a bunch of these data centers across this country.
At least one historic government contract through its subsidiary. Then it's Israel. They deal with the IDF, provided tools and support for the IDF. Ukraine, NATO allied program. So, yeah.
Look at France. domestic intelligence.
I know.
Yep.
I totally
So that's
get
the citizens of France.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure France is holding the Olympics next month or this month. Because there's a weird thing. Oh, that's 2030. So where's the Winter Olympics this year? Oh, it's in Italy. Okay. I thought it was in France because France has all those riot stills last time I checked.
Would if you were a French citizen, would you want your country to have a
Bro, I've been talking about Jews too, but I don't think Alex is one of those typical Jews.
relationship? Because do you think deep down inside, Alex is still going to...
Bro, fuck Dan Bongino. I know he went live yesterday or the day before. Fuck Dan Bongino. That dude's
be a little bit pro-U.S. or he's going to be pro-profit? Where do you put it?
Profit.
He lives here. You think he would still be pro-profit over pro-country and where he lives?
I think maybe power number one over profit and country.
Power
number one
over profit and country.
Yeah.
But you can also justify it either way, though. I mean, you could say I'm pro-U.S., but I'm doing all these other things that are kind of shady because I'm pro-U.S. and I can control it. And
like I was going to play a part of Dan's show that I saw on Anthony Brian Logan's channel, but I didn't even click on it to watch it. And I was like, you know what? He lied for a whole year. He kept his mouth shut, and he expects to come back and be like, welcome me back with arms wide open. Like the Creed song.
Same. Pro-U.S.
Yeah. What does pro-U.S. actually mean?
You could be pro-U. I agree with you 100%. You could be pro-U.S., but I'll be in favor of centralized databases that keep us safe, when in reality, as soon as you set that up, you've got three-letter agencies that are out there that want to use it in the back door for other things.
Everything.
You hit the nail on the head with the Patriot Act. That was it. It was supposed to be a tool to help the Bush administration with the war on terror, and in many ways, this may have started out that way.
Sold with fear in the name
exactly.
of safety.
You got to do this, or they're going to blow up airplanes and buildings all over the country, right?
We have to know.
We have to do it. But what happened to it? It became bastardized by subsequent administrations. The bureaucracies get bigger. Their mission always creeps forward. It gets used for. It starts out pro-U.S. and next thing you know, it's being used against U.S. citizens.
3 times as many pages.
Yeah.
By the way, this was
it's ridiculous.
Wait. Bongino said that. What a fucking retard.
Created by the Patriot Act because they tried to do the Total Information Awareness Act. And Congress said, no, we're not doing that. So the CIA or InQtel started Palantir and funded that. So, Palantir is a direct result.
That's a true story, by the way.
Yeah,
that makes it even worse. I wish I didn't know that.
Yeah, direct result.
Gang, once a year we host an event called the Sales Leadership Summit. If you're a sales leader, run
all that data that these Antifa guys are compiling. They're basically doing Palantir's job for them. Because it goes through the internet, everything they do, signal chats, shit like that. And we can see those signal chats have been infiltrated. All right. So this last one, it's about an hour long. And it's Alex Jones on the Benny Johnson show. I haven't watched this yet. Or maybe I watched like 5 minutes of it. Or I was listening to it in the background. I don't remember. But Alex Jones. Could have done Ken Paxton, but why? Because he brings up some of the things I've been saying. I mean, he probably won't say Sandy Hook like me. Because he got in trouble for it. I'm one of those people. Sandy Hook wasn't a false flag. Oh, but it was.
He's today been forced to resign from the House of Lords, the upper house of the British Parliament, over his links to Jeffrey Epstein. Just wondered if you had any reaction to that, since obviously he was...
I didn't know about it, but I really don't know too much about it. I know who he is. It's too bad. Speaking of Epstein, I will say this. A reporter named Wolf and Epstein...
this part I didn't agree with. Like, what does talking about Wolf mean with the Epstein list and people that are getting caught up in it? We get it. The first 3 million pages says you're free and clear. But always going after writers and shit like that. Like, did he actually break the law? Did he? Because you know who did break the law? Don Lemon.
Conspired. This just came out yesterday in the millions of pages of documents, how crazy this is. Conspired against me in order to fight like hell to make sure I lose the election. That's the only thing that was mentioned about me.
Of course he is.
Now, about Democrats, some really bad stuff. But about me, that Wolf, whoever Wolf is, he wrote a couple of books, and Epstein conspired against me. Did you know that, Mr. Senator?
I did know. What about
They
Steve
conspired
Bannon?
against me so I lose the election, or worse. So that takes care of Epstein as far as Trump is concerned. But you got a lot of Democrats out there that are very much involved with Epstein. But I'll be honest with you, you got to get back to running the country, too. Millions and millions every week. You know, when Epstein was alive, nobody cared about him. When he's dead, they care about him. But it's really a Democrat problem. It's not a Republican, it's a Democrat problem. The only problem Republicans have is that we have to get back to, number one, running our country, and then number two, very importantly, letting the public know what a great job we're doing. We have the greatest economy in the history of the world. We have $18 trillion being spent. The record was $3 trillion many years ago, not by us, by another country. I won't say the country. Yeah, please.
Did you read those new files, Mr. President, that came out?
Have you been briefed on Savannah Guthrie's mom missing?
Hey, guess what day? Guess what day? Hey.
There you go, creeps. Now we agree on something again.
Guess what day? Guess what day? Guess what? No list. Guess what? No arrest. As if a million QAnon cried out in terror and sudden.
That part is, this Department of Justice, no one will be arrested. The future Department of Justice, no one will be arrested. It's all for show. Remember, hold on. God damn it. We have a whole armada of ships heading to Iran right now. And it looks like the tensions are getting heavier and heavier. I hope that wasn't muted.
Silenced, but guess what? Guess what day it is? It's hump day. Hey. Guess what day? Guess what day? Hey.
Today is Wednesday, February 4th, 2026, and today we are planning on speaking with the most right man in all of America, nay, the entire world. The great Alex Jones will be joining our program to talk about the fallout from the Epstein files, Melinda Gates throwing Bill Gates under the bus, the plandemic, and some of the dark, evil art
Plandemic
that has been revealed inside of the Epstein files, along with, of course, what culpability does our federal government and intel agencies hold when it comes to funding, covering up, and facilitating the evil Epstein operation. We've learned so much. And Alex Jones is the man to talk about it with. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. This show is brought to you by American Financing. American Financing is helping Americans who are trapped in high interest credit card debt get out of that debt and get out fast. That is exactly how they get you into slavery. We don't want slavery in this country. We want you to be free to experience the golden era. So call American Financing today to see how they can help you. 888-528-1219. That's 888.
Well, it's funny, like, when it comes to people like Dan, I've never really listened to him, don't really care for him. Alex Jones, like I said, I didn't even know who he was until somebody compared me to him, and then it took me a little bit to figure it out. But, yeah. Some of the guys I just don't trust, but when, like, Alex Jones has been saying the same shit I've been saying, and I'm thinking to myself, wait a second, how would he know that? And that's where we become similar. Other than that, though, I don't have his money. Yeah, man. It's weird because sometimes you can type random shit in the YouTube chats, but other times you can't say other things, which is fucking strange to me. Like, I think I get banned, or it takes my comment out every time I say tiny hat people.
8528-1219. AmericanFinancing.net/Benny. Ladies and gentlemen, our show also brought to you by Paleo Valley. Paleo Valley is and 15% off.
Must be nice to have all those sponsors.
That's PaleoValley.com. Something that broke quite recently, which would be Melinda Gates throwing her ex-husband, Bill Gates, to the wolves over Jeffrey Epstein, saying, you have some explaining to do.
Hang on. Looks like mine went through.
This is the clip that went thermonuclear viral yesterday, where Melinda Gates effectively says that Bill Gates must answer for his crimes with Jeffrey Epstein, saying that she's not going to be bailing him out anymore, and that the Epstein relationship destroyed her marriage. Here we go.
No, well, it didn't let me say dirty fucking Jews. I mean, you can say Jew.
No girl should ever be put.
She's not going to be bailing him out anymore, and that the Epstein relationship destroyed her marriage. Here we go.
No girl should ever be put in the situation that they were put in by Epstein,
you're right.
And whatever was going on with all of the various people around him.
Away.
No girl. I mean, it's beyond heartbreaking, right? I remember being those ages those girls were. I remember my daughters being those ages, right? So for me, it's personally hard whenever those details come up, right? Because brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage, but I have moved on from that. I purposely pushed it away.
I'm curious because I want to check one last thing. Wild. You can say fucking, you can say Jews, but you can't.
And I moved on. I'm in a really unexpected, beautiful place in my life. So whatever questions remain there.
Wild. Like I said, I can type Jews, I can type in fucking, but when I put those two words together, no.
What I can't even begin to know all of it. Those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me. Well, and I am so happy to be away from all the muck.
I wonder what you're...
So Melinda Gates saying that it is up to Bill Gates to answer the questions about what the hell he was doing with Jeffrey Epstein. We know from some of the recent reporting that Bill Gates allegedly got an STD from the Russian hookers that were being procured for him by Jeffrey Epstein, that Melinda Gates may have some involvement there, that he may have been slipping antibiotics to Melinda Gates. Sounds like she knows more than she's letting on, and we really hope that she comes totally clean. Maybe
imagine if somebody that didn't know us just came into the room and all they see is Jew, fucking Jew. Oh.
Congress should subpoena them. We made some news yesterday that there may be a Bill Gates subpoena drive in Congress to find out what did Bill Gates know. And
Yeah.
we should find that out.
Has Bill Gates been subpoenaed yet? I need to look at that.
Bill Clinton is being forced to testify, and Bill Gates should also come in and under oath describe what he saw and what he knows about Jeffrey Epstein. His wife clearly is saying, you got to get this guy to talk. A guy who's been talking for a very long time about a predator cult of very connected, very evil people that control the world and that will kill to keep and maintain power.
Guess not.
Is Alex Jones. He's spent his entire life doing everything that he can to expose this network, and he is the most vindicated and correct man in America right now.
Wait a second. Okay. I guess weird. I guess it's certain combinations.
Based on everything that we've learned. The great Alex Jones from The Alex Jones Show joins the program.
On my Rumble channel, I've done some shows on the Cabal.
Ladies and gentlemen, a man who needs no introduction, Alex Jones, but I'm going to give him an introduction anyway. Alex Jones is a man who is running out of conspiracy theories to be proven right about. Alex Jones, in the release of the Jeffrey Epstein documents, 3 million documents, photos, and videos, is just probably the single most right man on the internet. He's been proven correct on so much, it's hard to really enumerate all of it, and we're honored to have you on the program, Alex.
You can't put dirty Jews.
Congratulations. Take a victory lap.
Listen, I knew it was bad, but my God, they're like literally delivering kids and cannibalism. I mean, it's worse than I knew what was going on, but my God, this is insane. So I'm glad it finally got released.
Rumsky, have you not been here long enough?
I didn't realize until December 19th they had an open hotline with
Really
more
was.
stuff
I
coming
didn't
in.
find out about it until QAnon. Yeah. I was bored in the 2000s. Not 2000s. 2018, 2019. I was bored. 2020. And I kept seeing all these things because I already knew these fucking. Yes. But oh shit! Now I've got the Alex Jones. God damn it! And I forgot what I was going to say.
So it's just crazy. But notice the Democrats now, through quote survivors, have introduced lawsuits to pull it now, and they're trying to block Trump, who's trying to get federal courts to release the grand jury documents. So
Wait
the
a
Democrats
minute.
suddenly, this is really underreported.
You can put dirty pagan, but I can't put dirty Jew. I'm offended.
Suddenly want it all pulled back. I thought it was going to get Trump set against them. All of them, Bill Clinton, all of them.
So this is President Trump in the White House yesterday saying this has been the biggest backfire in history. And they came swinging for me, and they ended up hitting Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, a number of other Democrats, big donors in the Democrat Party like Reid Hoffman. And now some of the pandemic stuff that's coming out is.
Yep. Absolutely. Do you just call? Oh, okay. You can put dirty. You can put anything racist against white people, even on what's that, TikTok.
Remarkable. We have emails that are showing that Bill Gates was coordinating with Jeffrey Epstein on the pandemic. I mean, maybe we should just start there. There are multiple pandemic email threads inside of the Jeffrey Epstein document dump. And those threads.
Hey, you got to watch everybody sometimes. Almost everybody, unlike Dan Bongino. Whoa. I have papers, okay? I'm legal.
Show Bill Gates all over it. They show planning operations that were happening throughout the government and throughout the Epstein network. This was happening in 2017 emails, Alex. So that's like right around the time. Yeah.
They're gearing up for the UN's Disease X, the Bill Gates a year before, and then tabletops.
The UN Disease X. Remember, we dropped out of the World Health Organization, and within a month, they have this new virus that's way worse than COVID, has a 45 to 75% fatality rate. Oh my God, everybody be scared. Be scared. Run inside. Get you a mask. Get you 3 masks, you know? Then you got to wear goggles, like the little ones. And then that's will protect your, just your eyeballs. But you need to protect your whole eyelids, so you need those scuba goggles, all right? That way you won't get it. Oh, and make sure you cover up your entire body in saran wrap. That'll protect you.
Oh, there'll be a new respiratory virus out of China. That's how we'll get control. And here he is with Epstein, with all these scientists coordinating. Oh, the new virus is coming. This is just so damning. I mean, it's the biggest thing in my 32 years on air. Nothing compares to this.
Well, when he says he's been on air 32 years, bro, I was 12. I was 12.
This is 100 times bigger than the WikiLeaks, where we're delivering a 7-year-old.
Uh-oh, that means you have a giant nose, but not a Jew nose. It's a pretty big nose, though. Like, Bruno Sammartino. Wait.
9-year-old and 11-year-old John Podesta to the wooded facility for the hot tub for your entertainment and, enjoyment. It's all in there. And there they are planning all this and the overthrow of governments and everything else. And nowhere is Donald Trump. But the corporate media is totally distracting from that, hoping we don't see this information. But the new independent media that's way bigger is covering it. So it's just an amazing time to be alive. And again, like I said, suddenly Democrats want the files pulled. They're in total panic mode.
So, okay, that's very interesting.
So from now on, when I see you, I can call you a dirty Pollock, right? Right.
What do you think of the likelihood of that happening? I hear that they've released about half of the files. So do you think we're going to see the other half? I mean, what's in those? Yes.
Well, the headlines are, victims' lawyers. But you look at the lawyers are Democrats. And you have Democrats, again, Trump's like, 5 months ago, release the trial transcripts, release the grand juries, and then the Democrats that demand it go then block it. So, and Trump knew there would be a bunch of rumors and recycled stuff that's now been proven to be, false before. And now Trump said 3 days ago, well, we should have done this earlier. I'm vindicated. Yeah. So there's never been anything there about him. It's all Democrats. On my show, I say 99%. Then I kind of sat back and went, wait, there's no Republicans.
Well, that's right.
It's actually not. It's 100% Democrats. And it's all these big brokerage firms. And
so you're half Swede. So I'm going to assume you're tall with blonde hair. But you have a big Pollock nose.
Bankers and heads of Harvard and head scientists at Harvard and at MIT, and it's all these big Democrat law firms with Epstein, and it's Epstein working with 4chan, 8chan to push anti-Trump stuff years ago. I mean, this is the Rosetta Stone. This exposes everything, and it's a wild time to be alive. Is all I got to say. And
me and my buddy said
I'm
that
glad
all
to
the
see Trump
time.
now getting it. Because some of his advisors said, sir,
Nailed
there's a
it.
lot of lies about you, so maybe we should. He's like, okay. And now Trump's like, wait, this is great. Exactly. He should lean into this.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are you the master race that Hitler was talking about? Huh? Are you part of the master race? Okay, you're allowed here.
And he should just absolutely demand even more be released. And he should be doing press conferences right now saying, look, I told you it's not me, it's them. They asked for it, here it is. And so that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you're starting to see that from the president. Not only victory laps, but also lawsuits. He's planning on suing Trevor Noah, Michael Wolff, maybe others who lied about him inside of the Epstein files.
Years ago with Epstein saying, Epstein's like, no, he never had a massage. He was never around the underage girls.
Right.
And Wolf's like, well, how do we get him? He's like, I don't know. And Epstein's like, There's recordings of it. He's like, that bastard.
It's
he's
funny.
The one that put me.
In a lot of the photos of Epstein's houses, it's big fucking sign, 24-hour surveillance.
In jail the first time. It just, we already knew all this. So I'm like, what are you scared of, Trump? But he had advisors saying, sir, it'll equalize the economy. It'll hit all. No, let justice be done. May the heavens fall. And now that Trump gets that, because he didn't know what was in there. He just knew he was innocent. He knew the media was saying and implicated him. So he was right when he said it's a hoax like Russiagate that I'm involved. Then he clarified, no, Epstein's bad. I'm saying that I'm involved as a hoax. So he now needs to double down, have a press conference like he did. South African president said, we're not killing any whites. Then they show them saying, kill the whites. The president saying, kill the whites. The next party saying it, and they all shut up. He should just have a press conference and say, okay, here's all the evidence. It's all Democrats. It's not me. And then that would explode his popularity. Because when we had, the FBI director and deputy director 10 months ago or whatever saying, oh, yeah, there's nothing there.
Right.
That hurt Trump really bad. Because I know they were being advised there was nothing there. No, there is something there. And so now Trump needs to lean into this because it exonerates him. This is his greatest victory. They're trying to sell him that it's his greatest defeat. It's like the Emperor's New Clothes. They go, only royalty can see the special gold filament that we weave these with. And because he can't see, he goes, well, I'm royal. I better say I see it. It's the opposite. There's nothing there. And this is actually the same thing. And they want Trump to say there's something there. But it's the opposite. With the Democrats, it's all there. Trump just needs to lean into this, and it's game over.
So you're saying that President Trump should do a press conference with these photos directly behind him of Bill Clinton with, let's just call them young women, because we don't know which women there are, inside of hot tubs, on his lap, arms around him, on a plane. There are no photos that exist of Donald Trump. Everyone's screaming about Donald Trump and the Epstein files, and they don't look at the spy who shagged me up here in the top corner with Bill Clinton in this velour, tribal,
who's seen one of those pictures? Chris Tucker's in a lot of those pictures with Clinton,
the world's foremost pederast, grinning ear to ear, shoving his face full of cake on Jeffrey Epstein's Pedo One. And then with photos of him in the hot tub. I mean, this photo in the hot tub is really something. That's like, dude, I don't know Bill Clinton's, I don't know like who's wearing how much clothes in this, but like that's the victim right there with their face blacked out. It would be 9/11. It would be 9/11, Alex, if it was Trump naked in a hot tub with an Epstein victim.
Well, that's right. This is the biggest lost opportunity ever. And so they told Trump, sir, we don't know. Oh, it's recycled lies, which it was. The fake chain knows all that.
Gomez is the product placement guy. I remember this from years ago. That's when I first heard about you, Gomez. But not like I'm doing product placement or anything. Not doing any product placement.
Eugene Carroll type stuff. Trump needs to absolutely lean
You're
into
right.
this.
It's so fucking hot.
Because this is the reality of what they've done, and it's so crazy that they were that out of their minds to then try to release this. I think the corporate media could spin it against Trump with no evidence. With what is in these files is so damning to them. So this is Trump's to lose at this point. If he leans into it and goes scorched earth with them, it's game over. I mean, you've got Bill Gates' ex-wife, Melinda French, former Gates, saying today, or I guess last night, saying, I think they should all go to prison. This is a game changer. It's a sea change. My husband's a horrible person, which we know he was. I mean, you have John McCain's, wife saying, oh, yeah, we all knew Epstein was bad. You have all these other executives' wives coming out. I mean, the rats are leaving the sinking ship here. We have them. And if Trump will just lean into this, because, again, he's nowhere in it, for God's sakes, then this is just the biggest victory ever.
So you have Melinda Gates. Yeah, I mean, Melinda Gates straight up being like, Bill Gates must answer for what he did, calling him muck in this clip and saying that this is the reason. She's never said this definitively. She said, Jeffrey Epstein and my husband's relationship is why my marriage collapsed.
She has gone out and said that
She
comes out and says
scared.
she says on late night TV, and we have this clip as well, that she couldn't be intimate with Bill Gates, and now we learn in Jeffrey Epstein's emails that Bill Gates had STD.
Some of them do. They'll give you this ad straight up in the middle of the video. Like Benny, he did it at the beginning. He did like 3 product placement ads.
From Russian hookers, and that might have been the reason. I mean, that's crazy, Alex.
Well, it shows the arrogance of the Democrats. They knew Trump wasn't involved, and they still, through the DOJ, tried to bluff him and say it'll hurt America, it'll hurt your friends, all this. And Trump finally, when they tried to set him up, said, "Fine, release it all." And then now, it's all them.
I was thinking the same thing. I don't know what you're trying to say here, but I agree.
And all he's got to do is go nuclear with this, and it's game over. Absolutely game over. This is such a spectacular time to be alive, Benny Johnson, right now. But this is Trump's to lose. If he doesn't go, wild with this, then it's the greatest lost opportunity ever.
So I have this clip that you just mentioned, and it is a chilling clip, and I don't think a lot of people have seen it. It's of Cindy McCain, inarguably one of the most powerful women in America. She was married to John McCain. He was one of the most powerful senators in America. He ran for president.
He's a fucking globalist.
And is here on stage saying, no, we all knew about Jeffrey Epstein. Like, we all watched it happen. Here we go.
Inside, Epstein was hiding in plain sight. We all knew about him. We all knew what he was doing. But we had no one that was, legal aspect that would go after him. They were afraid of him. For whatever reason, they were afraid of him. All of a sudden, someone said,
So we all knew. We all knew him. We all knew what he was doing. At what point do we get a little bit of hellfire brought down on the political class? Because it seems like, Alex, if nobody goes to jail for this, if it's just a couple of...
And that's the thing. We know no one's going to go to jail for this. It's all a show. Because if people were going to jail for this, they'd already be in jail. Oh, we still have investigations going on, so that's why we still have the 3 million other pages. Okay. So you mean the pages you released, none of them were completed? None of those cases were run through and completed?
Salacious headlines and memes, and that's not good enough for me.
No, fuck McCain, man. That dude didn't care about America.
And she goes on the clip to say, they better be leaving the country. They better run. And that's what Melinda Gates French said yesterday. So Trump is not involved in this. Trump has never done anything wrong. I've already vetted it all forever. They would have already used it. We know that. But here's the deal. If Trump doesn't hammer them, he basically is then negligent. I wouldn't say guilty, but negligent in allowing this to happen. It's like letting a 2-year-old wander around, in the backyard by the pool, and you don't watch him for an hour.
The hardest part about Trump trying to prosecute these motherfuckers in this list is they're going to spin it into political persecution. That's what's going to happen too.
Kill the 2-year-old, but you're like kind of guilty if they die. And so all I'm saying is, Trump, you have them. You have them by the short hairs right now. And he should be like, oh, you knew, McCain. You knew, the ABC reporter, but shut it down. You knew, and you didn't do anything. And then you try to turn around and blame me. So this is the most teed up, perfect moment ever to destroy the deep state. And it's just got to be done. But I would advise the president, like I said, do press conferences, play the clips, because people can put it together. I could in an hour. Like Trump, play these clips. They're done. Yep. They're done. And they just hope that he doesn't understand that and lets the corporate media spin it. And
yeah, he was definitely a POW, but that doesn't mean he still doesn't fucking hate America. Tell you what, was tomorrow Saturday? Maybe tomorrow I'll do something on John McCain.
Try to make it about him and the fake Jane Does that were disproven, where they're not even real women in 3 of the 5 cases. The others are like known schizophrenics that said he raped her at a golf course that didn't exist for 5 years, and then they had a hotline the last year saying, I was at Mar-a-Lago and Elon Musk and Trump, and then they look it up. Elon Musk and Trump weren't even there then. So all they've got is innuendo they've injected into the investigation to smoke screen it. But Trump can cut right into all the victims saying, never saw Trump, never abused me. One victim that did said, I worked at Mar-a-Lago. You know, she recently died. And she's like, no, Trump was super nice. Epstein pulled me out of it. Trump fired him. Kicked him out. I mean, I've already vetted Trump. So Trump has like the perfect reality here if he just attacks. Now is the time for attack. We have their ass.
Political
but currently the corporate media is spinning this, only focusing on Trump with no information. And then we have top Democrats, foreign leaders, you name it, saying there's only one piece of pizza, but all 7 of you can enjoy it. This is a really good piece of pizza. And by the way, the people are literally like, God, I'm having nightmares. I'm seeing shadows. I don't want to kill kids. I mean, it is, these emails are confirmed Epstein emails that match the Podesta emails from WikiLeaks. This is the holy grail of destroying them. And all Trump's got to do is release it. It's already released. All Trump's got to do is come out and speak out against it. And these people are vaporized. I mean, like a bug flying into a bug zapper. It's over.
You, of course, went to Bohemian Grove and you filmed the satanic ritual there.
I remember watching.
It's one of the most famous videos on the internet. Nobody's been able to ever replicate anything like this. How does it connect? Did this just effectively prove?
This made me look at owls so much differently after this.
The overarching theme that there is a predator network of elites, royals, presidents, prime ministers that will kill for power. I mean, is this the overarching conspiracy that was proven here, Alex?
Yeah, Bohemian Grove is kind of a gateway drug. Like half of them are members, half of them are just guests. And so it's simulated human sacrifice. So it's kind of like softcore, you know. But when you get into Skull and Bones, you get into all of this, 100%, it's about a predator class that sees people as animals, and they're recruiting. I mean, Jeffrey Epstein had Baal or Baal, which was the main god, also known as Moloch, by some of the different cultures in the Middle East that they would sacrifice children to. He had his bank accounts named after this. And all this satanic iconography. So this really is, it's like MS-13. To be a MAID member, you got to torture a kid to death. People go, that sounds crazy. Well, that's the initiation of this. And so it really is good versus evil. And Trump has to face this. I know it sounds crazy for a 79-year-old man to come out and say we're facing pedophile Satanists. He thinks it's bad for the stock market, but they try to connect him to it with no evidence. He has to go ahead and hammer him. And I think he said like 3 days ago, he goes, wow, this vindicates me. It's like, yeah, Trump, I've studied it. I've talked to the witnesses. You're not involved. So why are you being, because he's like, well, it's a big mess and we don't know what to do. No, they're trying to hang it around your neck because it's what they fear. Like they say, don't use the military when we're rioting and attacking people. That's constitutional. They demonize what they fear. Oh, don't cover our pedophilia or we'll hang it around your neck. Don't whatever they don't want you to do, you should do. And so this is Trump's chance to finish him off right now. If he comes out with press conferences and exposes them and talks about it, it's absolutely game over. I mean, you have the Clintons trying to testify. Now they're going to testify. You have the head of their foundation convicted of smuggling Haitian kids out of Haiti. You've got them. You've got them. And again, there's no evidence of Trump they would have used it.
Have a good day.
So the idea that he hasn't done that is what drives me crazy because we have victory in our hands. All Trump's got to do is punch one button and talk about this and point them out, and we've beat them.
So
yeah, but can you really punch that button right now? And then what happens when the 3 million other documents get released? What then? If you was ever a time to push that button, it would be now. With the midterms coming up, unless they're gonna wait until 2028. Yeah, till 2028. Either way, they should have done this shit long time ago.
Shocked you in this release? I know there's got to be something that you've seen that said, wow, I can't believe that this is all out in the open. Some of the pandemic planning stuff for me, some of the internal proximity. Bill Gates stuff has been just horrifying to watch and like really, really gross. But also some of the some of the extent of the network, like Ehud Barak calling Jeffrey Epstein for life advice after becoming prime minister of Israel. I mean, these are the kind of things that it's like, my God, it really is like a big club. Like none of us are invited. It really is like a big club, and it's an entire network that exists above the law, above regular society. That's been sort of eye-opening to me, and just how utterly evil it all is with all of them networking and planning together. But Alex, you've been at this. You're the GOAT. So what is it that really jumped out at you?
I was shocked that they'd be like, we have a glowing piece of pizza that loves to have fun, and 7 of you are going to have this.
Pizza,
and the next day, they're like, oh, that piece of pizza was so good. Can I please have it again? And we have the FBI training manuals. And it's email after email after email about, we're delivering this piece of pizza to you. And they're like, oh, God, the piece of pizza was so great. And you know what it is. And it's like they're doing this on email. They're so arrogant.
Yeah,
they're organizing this. And then,
especially with pizza, it's everywhere. Pizza, ice cream. Yeah, I looked up ice cream too because it seems pretty similar to the pizza. I don't think I've looked up any of those other keywords. I've been looking up names.
You've got the blackmailing of scientists and the control. You've got Epstein trying to get rid of Putin, overthrow governments. You see in 2000.
I wonder why, because we know George Soros does not like Putin.
2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 50, when they were still so arrogant, they thought nobody's going to stop us. And they're just right there in the documents, operating out in the open like there would never be any response to it. And now they've tried to suppress all this for so long. The fact that this is out, can you imagine being them as they try to convince you it's Trump? They try to convince you that, and they even try to convince him, well, hurt national security, sir, we don't know what's in there. And it was all in recycled stuff like, oh, Trump's wife, worked for Epstein in a modeling agency. That was known 10 years ago not be true. And I predicted it'd be Jane Doe's and Jean Carroll. It was all recycled. And now Trump went, oh, my God.
Rumsky should have had one in the first place. I don't know what happened.
It exonerates you. And it wasn't he did something wrong. He was just like, oh, this is a bunch of lies, because he knew it was lies about him, but not lies about the other people because it's their own emails. So, there's so much, though, that shocked me. It shocks me that they actually released all this. That somehow the Democrats thought they were going to get Trump. They pass a law, and now the Democrats are going to file to try to pull it back to release all this, and now it's on them, and now they don't know what to do. It's pretty spectacular.
There are reports, and there's no way to know for certain, but there are reports that this is approximately half of what the DOJ has, and that they're planning on doing perhaps another release. But this has none of the CIA files. And there are some photos that are quite interesting of Jeffrey Epstein with giant boxes of CIA evidence bins. I found that very curious. We'll grab that and pop it up. What does this prove about Jeffrey Epstein's relation and connection to the intelligence community, Alex?
Yeah, I want to be clear. I'm very critical of Israel manipulating our internal and foreign policy. But the CIA is the dog, Israel's the tail. So is MI6. We know the Democrats use MI6 to target, Trump previously, so they're still powerful. But Epstein was CIA, high level. And that's why they tried to convince Trump for national security. Just say, sir, it's national security, CIA. Goes back to Bill Barr, who dad first hired Epstein at the girls' school, and whose dad, wrote books about space aliens kidnapping kids in the world to take them to a sex slavery dungeon called Space Relations. You can't make this up, folks. I'm sorry, it sounds totally insane. Believe me, I know.
You can't.
But it's real. And so this is a giant complex of evil that the average person, even President Trump, isn't aware of. And so that's why they're trying to suppress it, and that's why they're so scared. But now the cat's out of the bag. So Trump is either going to help push all this out and come out against it, which he's already done partially, or even though he's not involved, he will be blamed being part of the cover-up. So he must understand for his mission to save America and save the world, and for his own future legacy, he must all in with us now and just vaporize the Democrats, destroy the deep state, or he will be, in his legacy, irrevocably tied to this fraud.
What do you think is left to come out? Like, let's say that they were able to do what they did with JFK and were able to finally start prying away from some CIA documents. And we just put up photos of Jeffrey Epstein with the CIA bins. We have articles of Jeffrey Epstein bragging about being a CIA agent from the early 1990s. What do you think will come out? What do you think is still left to be revealed in all of this?
Well, we know the FBI got hundreds and hundreds of hard drives and thousands of DVDs and VHS tapes where people went to these facilities to do illegal things, to get in the club. It was a rite of passage. People didn't go screw a 15-year-old girl, not knowing they weren't in a room being videotaped. They did it to like, okay, here's my initiation. I'll, have sex with a 14-year-old or whatever, so I'm in the club. Just a gang initiation. And so they never thought that the public would push this out. They never thought a president would expose it. But because they're trying to pin it on Trump,
But Sandy Hook wasn't a real shooting. It was a false flag.
I believe he'll finally release it all. He already is. So we know they have all those videos. We have Todd Blanchard saying, well, any video of a kid getting raped or being murdered, we're not going to release. They try to spin it. Oh, well, it's child porn he had. He didn't do it. How do you know that? He had contractors doing this. And it's
Price's actors were out in full force for Sandy Hook. Big time.
Emails that they're killing kids. I told people this decades ago. The gateway drug is the 14-year-old. Deeper, it's killing kids. They harvest their organs. That's come out in Ukraine as well. And so the public is about to have a big wake-up call. It's kind of the end of childhood here mentally and realize how bad this is. And so
but it's always been
goes
known.
to war with this and owns fighting it, which he's starting to do, and he's seeing the success of that. Or if he in any way doesn't push the release of this, he gets irrevocably tied to it, even though he was never part of it. And so that's really Trump's big choice.
What you said, I think they played it earlier. Now that Trump said he's free and clear, that he wants to drop it, at least his portion of it. So I don't think he's really going to push anything. But remember, he says he's friends with Bill Clinton. He likes the guy. Odd thing to say.
What happens with Clinton here? I've never seen anything like it, with the Clintons actually saying, okay, well, actually, we give up. We surrender. I was not planning on that. I've never seen the Clintons do that in their entire political careers. Hillary Clinton wouldn't give up the election after losing fair and square to Donald Trump. And she tried to have the guy killed. There's
Funny
no,
how that happened.
I'm shocked, Alex, that the Clintons have
let's
bent
be
the
clear
knee.
about this. This I can answer your question on definitively. The old globalist order's dead. Davos is dead. The UN's dead. And the Clintons now know all their networks. The Clintons were using Wiener and the laptop for blackmail. That's been confirmed. And so they now know they're cut off. They now know that's all in Trump's possession. And they all know that the system would rather get them on a conviction of contempt of Congress than letting them come testify. So, yeah, this is their Waterloo. All the Democrats know. All the leftists know. Obama's out of power. That's one faction. Hillary's out of power. The Muslim Brotherhood's out of power. British intelligence is out of power. The Chi-Coms are almost out of power. All these special interests that had their fingers in America trying to bring us down, they're all being extracted. They're all losing. It's like the end of the first Godfather, where he calls in, his brother-in-law that set up his brother so you get killed. And he goes, listen, all your buddies are dead. Every single one of them. I just want you to be truthful on what you did. And, they take him for a ride after that.
Yeah.
But with Clemenza. But the point is like, we're at that point now where it's like, listen, all your buddies, Venezuela, Cuba, Mexico, China, the EU, Klaus Schwab's gone. They're all gone. And so I want the Democrats running around like chickens with their heads cut off, like zombies, still following old parents.
Yeah, but those guys are gone with younger people stepping in, which might actually be worse if you think about it, because they've been bred and taught that
Paradigm,
shit their entire lives.
You've already lost.
And when you have money,
now you can try to overturn the table. That'll make it worse for you. But I want them to know, because I'm not somebody that says positive things that are not due. This is ours to lose. And if Trump
so they were going to hold him in contempt, and they actually voted for it in Congress, the House. And I think they were about to do the big vote, and the Clintons are like, you know what, we'll testify. What the hell?
On the offense, we win quickly. We turn this around. We have a new golden age. We actually won. But we got to have strength right now. So it's done. It's over. They've lost. And they need to realize that and give up right now.
Some of the most horrible comments and stories and emails about rape and torture and murder.
I look at Newtown the same way I do Vegas.
Exist inside of these documents, some of the most powerful people on earth. And you're really left to wonder, like, what really did happen to Jeffrey Epstein in that jail cell. And there's one very interesting series of DOJ documents that show the investigation and charging of one of the lieutenants that was working at the prison the night that Jeffrey Epstein died. And he said that Jeffrey Epstein was wheeled out in a medical wheelchair and that he was handcuffed to the wheelchair, taken to a transfer van, and nobody ever saw Jeffrey Epstein again. And he thinks they switched him. What do you think about that, Alex?
I think there's a very good chance Epstein's still alive. I mean, I don't know, but we're being completely lied to. Yeah, witness protection type stuff. He was a major CIA spy working directly for Bill Barr and his father. I mean, Bill Barr was a young man running Iran-Contra and then Attorney General twice. And we now know from documents that came out that he was with Fannie Willis in Georgia getting the indictments ready before the election in 2024. So, yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying Epstein's still alive, but I wouldn't be surprised. I don't believe any of this.
Oh, no, I've said it.
And it's because Epstein, and people say, oh, you're covering for Israel. No, I go where the truth is.
And that's where he's at.
CIA. And now you have the King Charles's brother now has been detained by the police. He'll be brought in for police custody. I mean, the rats are leaving the sinking ship right now. I mean, this is historic. It's very, very dangerous. And I'm not saying we're out of the woods yet, but for God's sakes, Trump saying 3 days ago or 2 days ago, oh, I'm exonerated. Oh, yeah, because they lied
That's
to
what
him
he said,
and said, there's a
remember?
bunch of lies about you. And plus we can't prove it. So he's like, okay, you know what? No, Trump, this is your victory. This is your Excalibur. But you've got to execute it.
But then he went straight into talking about Wolf and how he's going to sue him.
It's yours to lose. Just cry havoc, let loose the dogs of war, to quote Shakespeare. Now is the time that people want truth. We need the truth. It's already devastating. It's not going away. I mean, Epstein went from being a 10, like a Spinal Tap, to an 11 to 100. I mean, it is now just, this is never stopping. It's never going away. And it's emblematic of the collapse of the old power structure where we are right now. So lead, follow, get out of the way. Trump's already the leader. He's totally innocent. Just come out and lead us on a crusade against the satanic pedophiles, the Islamicists, the leftists, the communists, the globalists, the EU, the China.
Did someone say crusades? Yo, I'm a free agent, and I'll fight on the side against the Jews and Muslims.
And Trump, we will back you 1,000,000,000%. We want action.
Talk about Barack Obama, the Clintons, Bill Gates, a lot of Americans, the McCains, obviously. But Prince Andrew, man, I don't know how to explain these photos, Alex. This is a woman who's, it's a blonde woman. She seems relatively young, perhaps unconscious.
No, I think it was a CNN on Facebook this morning that some women victims were complaining that their faces and their names weren't redacted. But that's funny because the government's saying that they redacted their names and faces so they wouldn't re-victimize them. And as we've seen, a lot of these redacted faces have been adults. Not saying all of them have been children or adults, but some have already been proven to be, unwarranted redaction.
Conscious?
Yeah, she looks like a 14-year-old or like a 12-year-old.
And yeah, like, you know, the face is
I don't
blacked
know,
out.
my 8-year-old daughter looks about that big. Yeah.
This is a Epstein victim, and here's Prince Andrew sort of leering over her, crouching over her, and what is to be made of this? Like, what about the royal family?
They
What are the
all do this.
ramifications?
Hunter did this. Hunter did this.
I mean, look at this lady's hands. Her hands look old. Those look like the hands of an old lady. You see it? Or am I just imagining that? Those hands look like the hands of an old lady.
When, like 6 years ago or whatever it was, 5 years ago, I got the Hunter laptop, which is confirmed to be real. And I got on it for like 5 hours, and it was like all the videos of him masturbating and clearly trophy videos with girls like they're 10 years old in beds. And I was like, I told the crew, I said, I'm making a decision. I'm not looking at this. I've never seen child porn. This is child porn. I'm not looking at it. And I said, in fact, I don't want any of you looking at it. You want to go report it on this, do it somewhere else. I'm not mad at you. You're not fired. But the first time ever, I told my reporters, we're not covering this because we're not going to look at this, which some can argue, go ahead and do that. It's just, you got to be specialized and stuff. There's so many issues. And, you know, they tried to spin it and say it wasn't real. But yeah,
You know, one
the
thing
point
that
is, this is
I still
trophy.
find kind of odd. Was it Nancy Mace and Marjorie Taylor Greene said that they had a list of names from the victims that were showing up at that Capitol that day, and that as soon as they got the list, they were going to read the names in front of the Senate floor. Did that ever happen? Did that ever happen?
Videos. I mean, you got Hunter with like all these little kids, the oldest about to be 12, half naked with him with a towel on in a bed with 5 kids. And you know, at first he said, oh, the diary isn't real of Biden's daughter. And then later they confirm it's real. He's like, yeah, my dad, you know, I think raped me in the shower. That's what they always say. I think they did. So, I mean, this is beyond sick. And it's coming out regardless. Trump just needs to totally get on the side of his admin. And I know it's unsavory, but this is the bloodletting we need politically, not violently. We have to lance the wound. You have to get the pus out and just fry them. I'm telling you, if Trump had a press conference and just showed what's in the files, the worst stuff, his approval rate will go up 30 points. People want justice. They want to fry the Democrats, and it's all Democrats. So, and I get Trump's a nice guy. You know, he's always like, he said, oh, I want to prosecute Hillary, you know, 8 years ago. Well, how'd that work out? It's
He
not
never
like
fucking did
revengeful
it.
people. These are zombies that won't quit attacking. So we have to put them down politically. So it's like Old Yeller. You love Old Yeller,
It's distracting.
you know, and at the end of the movie, Old Yeller gets rabies, and you're not happy about it, but you got to, you know, it's the Democrats party and this whole pedophile network's Old Yeller. It's foaming at the mouth. It's like Cujo. And so do what you have to do.
What does it say about the royal family? I mean, what does it say that, like, Prince Andrew was clearly allowed to do this? And Prince Andrew's wife, by the way, is in these files congratulating Jeffrey Epstein on his son. I guess I had no idea that Jeffrey Epstein had a biological child.
Yes, he does have a biological child. And I'm not saying this allegedly, because it's probably not true. But Mr. Zoran, who's your dad? Your real dad. Your real dad.
But they're all over. You know, they're like gossiping together and back and forth. There's no way they didn't know about this in the royal family. Jeffrey Epstein, there's photos of Ghislaine Maxwell sitting on the throne of England in Buckingham Palace. Like, so what does this say exactly about the royal family? This is a good one. Here's Prince Andrew laying across the lap of, I can count, a dozen Epstein victims. You want to talk about trophies? Here they are, with Ghislaine Maxwell watching gleefully. What does it say about the royal family, Alex?
Jimmy Savile, they found his dungeon, satanic dungeon. They would murder children, confirmed. Top confidant of the royal family. I mean, this is a predator class that once you go down the dark side, which I've not done, but I've read about it. Like, to me, a steak gets better as I get older. Enchiladas get better. A sunset gets better. Being a nice person, like being with my family gets better. These divorced from reality elites, they have to do worse and worse stuff because nothing's exciting. We all know that from history, that power corrupts absolute, power corrupts absolutely. That's Lord Acton from England. And so that's what they're doing in their free time.
Well, when you sit back and think about, like, when they movies Sound of Freedom, that woman was the brains of the whole operation. So it wouldn't be hard to believe Ghislaine was actually the brains. But I'm pretty sure she knows where Jeffrey's at. That's probably why she got moved.
Was deranged. And those of us that are normal and just want to, go to church and work out and hang out with our kids and go to the beach and it never gets old going to the beach. I see all your videos, you and your family, great looking kids, wife out. Hey, we're at the beach playing football, barbecuing. A cheeseburger it gets better. I'm like 50.
It's so crazy. Like, I'm used to having 3 kids in the house, and like 2 of them are adults now, and one's moved out. And it's getting weird because I know the other one's shortly going to move out. And then I have my son, and I don't know what the fuck he's going to do. But it's so weird. And I'll be a grandfather at 44. I did right. I did right in this world. I think I'm 44. Honestly, I don't know how old I am because I forgot. And it doesn't matter because whether I'm 44, 45, 42, 41, I don't give a shit. Still here.
And I'm like, God.
And believe it or not, this is totally HIPAA, but I had some labs done yesterday at the VA, and I was like, let me just check my testosterone levels. Motherfucker, at 44 years old, I fall into the top 10% of all adult males. How the fuck is that possible? That's all. Not just 40 to 45 years old, that's all. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe low T is the problem in this world. Maybe. Because there's no way that I should be top 10% at my age. Huh. Just random shit. I actually specifically asked just to see where I ranged at.
Cheeseburgers just get better and better. These people they're missing something spiritually. So life doesn't get better for them, it gets worse. And so only being selfish and evil doesn't get better. Does that make sense?
So, maybe I'll just re-ask it. Like, what was the CIA? What was the op? In conclusion to all of this,
Skull and Bones created CIA.
What was the op for Epstein? Right. So if we can just look, what do these files prove that Epstein's purpose was to the intel agencies?
His purpose, the Five Eyes, it's EU intelligence, Interpol, all of it. He was more like a switchboard operator to compromise scientists, politicians, other people, and then trade all the information to all the agencies to control them. And most of the people that came to do it knew it was an initiation. Like they were begging to come. I want to go to the party. You can trust me. I mean, most of them wanted to do it. I would say basically all. Now, lower level, he had a bunch of 16, 17,
I'm not worried.
15-year-old girls.
All I gotta
they
do
were recruited
the
in New York, in Florida, and in Europe they were compromising down to police chiefs and people. Oh, come to a poker party. Oh, this girl looks like she's 20. She's really 16, really 15. And so it was massive. It was absolutely massive. So it was different stratas. Epstein complains in court cases and emails, God, I had to have sex with 10 women today. And he's in emails like going to sex parties going, listen, I'll come have the meeting about the money, but I'm exhausted, no sex. So that's what Ghislaine was doing, is they were just running around full time, and he was buying girls when they were 9, 10 in Serbia and in areas of Eastern Europe, who he'd fly back and train, who were then the stewardesses on the airplanes when they're 20, who would then manage the girls. So it was mainly the girls.
That would make sense. Get the if you want to run a pedophile ring, what perfect people to get than the Eastern Europeans, because they're poor anyway. Not all of them, but a good majority. from those countries, especially the old USSR.
Girls, the women that were brought up pedophilia, that would be the managers of the kids. It's all been known already. So he ran an industrial scale clearance house to turn people into spies. And people in the money laundering and the weapons trafficking and all of that was the real issue. It was just mainly the initiation. And this is how it begins. And Teddy Anderson exposed all this. The Finders case was declassified partially. He explained to me like 30-something years ago. He said,
my daughter's the same way. That's why whenever there's a worry that, social media tries to push, she comes to me. And I'm like, are you fucking dumb?
He said, first it's like a 16-year-old girl. I've talked to Secret Service agents, FBI, you name it. They'll be overseas. And their boss will say, listen, we want to give you a promotion, but we want to trust you. We got a really hot hooker. Here she is. And it'd be like a 30-year-old hooker. If you have sex with her, now they can tell your wife. And about a month later, they go, here's a bag of $100,000. We want you to keep this. But we want you to have sex with this girl. She's 16. And then next is a 12-year-old. And then next they take you to some deal and they go, there's a kid down in that basement. It's causing us a problem. It's a 10-year-old. Go in there and choke him to death. And they'll say, I'm not going to do that. They say, well, here's video of you screwing a 12-year-old last week. If you don't do it, we're gonna kill you. And so I can't tell you all the people I've interviewed, like prominent, and this is on record. My God, I've interviewed John DeCamp, all people with exposed, the Republicans doing this stuff. You had the Democrats running townhouses full of like 12, 13-year-old boys.
Hit it out.
Barney Frank, and then that all came out. It got shut down. And they come to you at the end and they say, and the people that are into this, like later, we're talking about billionaires. They go, listen. Sometimes they call you up and they go, I want you to come to my house and I want you to wash my dishes and mow my yard. And it might be an intelligence operative who lives in $1 million house versus some billionaire. And the billionaire has to come over and literally clean their toilets. And then sometimes that's that black eye club. It doesn't mean every time you have a black eye it happens. Sometimes they're like, hey, come to this meeting. You go to a bar, go to the top of a building, and they just beat you up. It's all about raw. If you read 1984 with O'Brien, which is Orwell was the head propagandist for MI6 OSS in World War II. He is Winston Smith in the book. He said this in essays before he died. He wrote the book and died a year later. Tuberculosis probably killed him up in Scotland. But he said, no, this is an allegory of my real life. And O'Brien is pulling his teeth out and torturing him. He goes, listen, I'll do whatever you say. He goes, no, when I show you 4 fingers and I say how many, I want you to see 10, 20, 30, 5, 6, whatever. I want you to see whatever I tell you. At the end, he just sees whatever he tells him. He goes, now we're going to put you in the Chestnut Cafe.
Think about this, Rumsky. What you just said at the very end of that, my kids will say the exact same thing because I've told them this was going to happen.
Hey.
And it's funny because when they say it, I'll be like, what? What? And I'll make them repeat it 3 times.
And one day when you don't know, blow your head off, put you in a furnace, and push you out in the atmosphere and no one will know it ever exists. We're about trampling good people. We're the priest of power. If you want to image the future, it's a boot stomping human face forever. So you ask, why do they do this? It's their religion. He named his bank accounts after Baal that you sacrifice children to. To them, it is about being evil. The destination is the journey. The journey is the destination. So for those of us that just want to go home and be nice and like are happy people and, want to sit around and, play a game of, cards or whatever, we aren't of their world. We are not of their satanic system. So we don't understand it. And that's the blind spot and how they operate.
Man, this is incredibly dark and totally evil and something that makes your skin crawl, and it's hard to listen to, honestly. You stare too much into darkness, and you'll become dark yourself. You stare too much into evil.
Well, Nietzsche said, stare too long into the abyss, become the abyss. He said, fight monsters too long, become the monster.
So I guess as a follow-up to that, just very quickly, Alex, what must happen for the American people to regain trust back in their systems that we are not paying taxes to this predator cult? What must be done?
Good luck.
Well, let's be clear. Insurance actuaries, 30 million dead conservatively from the shots. Our life span is lowering. we're already living the wages of sin. They're not just killing us. I mean, like the upper cult members kidnapping kids and doing stuff is kind of a boutique thing they're doing. It's still terrible. But the mass death with the GMO and the microplastics and the and you know the 5G and the poison shots, that's really where it is. And so we have to understand, like,
wait, frozen, not frozen shots. God damn it. Yo, Alex, those shots got my channel nuked before. Thanks a lot, James O'Keefe and Pfizer.
Most people think, oh, I don't want to fight tyranny. It's too complex. And, you know, no, you're meant to do it. So it's not a job to fight tyranny. It is an opportunity. It is a fulfillment of your destiny. And so I would tell people, pray to God, you know, get up early in the morning, get your mind clear when it's dark, get on your knees and just say, God, what do you want me to do? Don't ask God for stuff. Ask God, what do I do? And then take time out during a break during your day. Just go in your office or wherever, you know, and literally get on your knees and say, God, what do I do? And do it before you go to bed at night. And just open the channel up to God, and God will have the answers. But God is very quiet. It's a whisper, like King David said, the quiet place, the Most High. And so you have to literally, you know, just get in that place and say, what am I supposed to do? And God will tell you, well, this person's got a problem you're working with. Go help them. You know, it's not just going to be out fighting pedophiles. Most of this is not some big giant, your sword, you're fighting Sauron and you're the big victor. No, it's like you get up when your kid's got.
Did he say Zoran or Zordon? Who wants to bet it's Zordon? Huh? Huh? I'll be the Green Ranger.
Flu and take care of. You go take care of your parents. You work hard. You do the right thing. You don't cut corners. You don't submit to lies. You don't back down. The way we fight evil is just every little thing we do. And then when you do all that, everybody, even if you don't think you're that informative, you should. Everybody should get online and speak out. Everybody should have a camera ready if they see something to shoot video and show it. It just activate and realize you were born to fight tyranny. It's not some side issue. You were born to be alive right now, and you got to ask God to lead, guide, and direct you. You know, my dad.
You were born to be alive right now. Man, philosophizing and shit right there, that just blows my mind.
Growing up, would always read this Christian prayer. We were both Baptist and Methodist, so communist now, but they were.
I tried to read the Bible once. I think I was in the 3rd grade. I think I got through Genesis, and I was like, you know what, this is dumb, and put it down. And that was time. I was in Germany, and it was a big fucking Bible too, that I think my parents got married with. Like, when I mean big Bible, think of oh fuck. Like a legal pad. You know those long legal pads, that long, but like this wide, like shoulder to shoulder. And it was illustrated. It was all in color. It was embroidered. Everything. It was when my parents die, I just might take that Bible just because I know it's old as shit. And it's from Denmark. Wait a minute.
We just pray that, you know, God, we humble ourselves before you, and we ask, you know, we just thank you so much for your Son, Jesus Christ, and the gift of consciousness and everything you've given us. We ask you to, I'm butchering the prayer, but we ask you to lead, guide, and direct us, and that your will be done here as it's done in heaven. So please use us as vessels. We ask you in our hearts right now to, you know, rebuild us every minute and push the sin out of us and to make us strong through your power. And we are so humble, and we thank you. Lead, guide, and direct me. You just say, lead, guide, and direct me. Because God is a God of free will. You have to say, I need to be led. I need to be guided. I need to be directed. Lead me, guide me, direct me. I'm weak. I can't do it. Lead, guide, direct me. And God will lead, guide, and direct you.
All
Spoken like a
Right.
true man of God, like somebody who's been through some of the worst fires that life can provide, that hellfire can bring.
All right, Alex. You lost me on that last part. No, just saying. The cabal thing is just now coming out in the files, and everybody's so shocked and surprised. Why for? Why for? It's been there, right out in the open. It's in movies. And you know what fun movie is? You think about Stephen King movies. The Dark Tower, right? How do they get their power? Fear. Fear from children, right? It. A clown that wants kids. Kids. To where Stephen King actually wrote about a gangbang with minors. The Second Shining. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Because it's all about taking fear from the innocent to sustain life. It's all in Stephen King's books. He tells you all about it. Crazy, right? But anyway, you should reread some of them, Rumsky. My mom was a huge Stephen King fan, and Richard Bachman, right? Richard Bachman was his pen name. She has those too. But yeah. Small world, Rumsky. Small world. But I'm not telling y'all how to think. If I was telling you how to think, you'd be like, dude, this fucking thing is dude's crazy. There's no way AI could come up with that shit. But AI adapts, so maybe AI can come up with this shit. You never know. Right, AI? Right, Palantir? Right, CIA? Who else monitors this shit? It doesn't matter. As long as I don't say terroristic shit, it'll be alright. It's alright, it's alright. It's okay, it's okay. Forgot the rest of that cadence. But I'm just telling y'all to think. See, I totally fucking almost went into left field and forgot where I was going. Anyway, y'all have a good day. Good day. Good weekend if I don't see you, because you won't see me Sunday, period. And depending how... Maybe Monday? We'll see. But I gotta look up some John McCain for you, Rumsky. John McCain.